Does it look good? Otherwise, if it's for, say, skull, looks pretty good. Yeah. Looks pretty good. Yeah, they could have demonstrated some collimation. They've got their marker on there. What about this one? Looks like the same. Okay, what about these two? Lateral. Okay. So, what do you think this is a lateral for?
Better be sinuses.
Right? Look at that off back there. Do you think that's a good lateral for sinuses?
Not really.
Not really. It doesn't look quite superimposed, and it looks a little bit what?
Dark.
A little bit dark.
Like out, yeah. So that's a technique problem, right?
Yeah, it looks like a little bit of positional. It looks pretty straight here. Your posterior clinoids look lined up. Your mandible actually looks pretty lined up. So if the technique was okay, it's just a little bit off here, you can see. It would have probably passed. And what else does it need on there?
Marker.
If it was for sinuses, do we need all of the mandible?
No.
Okay, what do you think this is? Looks like lateral sinuses, and again, the supraorbital, the roofs are not quite lined up, but the sphenoid looks pretty good. We look a little bit rotated here. So, but it went through, it has a sticker on it, and they gave it to us. What do you think about this?
Good Lord.
I know, that's huge, isn't it? Some magnification going
Big
on.
time magnification.
But look at this, look at that big frontal sinus, and even here, you have a big frontal sinus, right?
10 inches I did.
Okay, that's when it was in a, what did I talk, oh, did I show you the picture of the Franklin head unit? No? Okay. Okay, so we haven't gone over the specific part yet, well, we kind of have. What position is this? SMV for? Zygomatic arches, not sinuses. See it right here?
Yeah.
So you can't see the sinuses. They're all washed out, but you can definitely see the zygomatic arches. Okay, what about this one? What is this? For, do you think?
Sphenoid and all that. Besides.
What, either skull, sinuses, facial? Skull, because they're showing what? Is that a good SMV?
Yeah.
You think so?
No marker.
No, there's not equal space on either side.
Not even space on
yeah.
either side, and where should we see this?
Should be more towards
towards
the
the
Yeah.
So it needs
To be, yeah.
to do what with the head?
Tilt the head
Extend
back.
more.
Exactly.
Need a Chrissy neck.
Yeah. Hers was overextension.
What do you think this
What yoga
is?
does to you guys.
Buckshot.
Buckshot.
A bad day.
I'd like to see a lateral on this or a tangential to see, you know, if those little beads went, how far deep they went. So what position is this?
That is a PA 0 degree.
Why would you say it's 0 degrees?
Because
Because
it's
the-
all-
because
it's
the
all-
origin-
What is that?
It's in the lower part.
It's in the lower part.
That's what
Yeah.
the rest of it's just like,
So there's some angle on there, right? Look at
So
these
which one is it?
frontal sinuses. So sometimes you gotta be careful about how much you cone, even though you don't need all the skull in there, but just to make sure that you get it off. How about this? So this is backwards anyway.
Is that the PA? It's in the orbit.
Yeah.
What's that?
Is that an open mouth?
No.
It's throwing something. It's
That's
evil.
right.
oh,
What is it?
is it town?
Towns, what's another name for it? Chamber towns, right. So it's not a really good one, there's not enough elongation, I believe it or not, because we don't see that Brennan magnum with the dorsum cellum in there. But that's what that is. And what position is that for?
Frontal.
Occipital.
Occipital bone.
Now, they may have been doing this for mandible, because you can do this for your condyles here. You can also do it for your zygomatic arches, but we'll get to that later, believe it or not. Okay, so let's look at this. What do you think this is? Isn't that cool?
Yeah,
It's
it's cool.
It's definitely a sinus.
Definitely a sinus. Is that a good sinus?
What are you looking for?
Your sinuses.
You
You're
don't go
looking for
with
sinuses.
Well, you clip the frontal are clipped.
The frontal are clipped, even though it's for the maxillary, the frontal are clipped. So do we still need them? Yes. So will that be a repeat?
Yep.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question. So it's not like regular X-ray, you know how if you clip something, I'll take a higher shot and we'll send both of them in kind of thing.
They might do that, yeah,
Yeah,
they might
so
send
they-
that one in because, you know, your peaches ridges are really low here, and the next one you do, you may end up with your peaches ridges a little bit higher. Or if the next one is perfect, they may say, we're just trashing that one.
Oh, okay.
Okay, what about this one?
They use a comb.
They did use a comb.
Living on the edge.
See the ethnic.
Oh, that's not living on the edge, that's the way it's supposed to be.
Back in my day.
Yeah, uphill both ways.
Is that one showing everything?
I do too.
This one's not showing everything because the mouth isn't open. But notice the peaches ridges are below the maxillary sinuses, so what is this one? And look at the nose, the perpendicular plate of the ethmoid and the vomer. The bony nasal septum, what is that? That's a Waters, come on.
Come on.
Is that a good Waters? Looks pretty darn good to me. It looks like we got everything we need. Maxillary ethmoid, we have our frontal. Can't see the sphenoid because it's posterior, unless we open that mouth up. What about this one?
So cool.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Stand behind it.
Oh, the
Is it a
peaches,
Caldwell?
the peaches ridges are dropped
The
down,
peaches
so.
ridges
lower.
are in the
In the
lower
lower one-third.
The lower
Yeah,
third.
it's a little
That's
too
a
much
cone.
angulation, I guess.
Maybe a little bit too much angulation, but you need to be able to recognize it visually. So what is that?
What's it called?
Oh.
Sinus.
Caldwell.
And what, is that, the letter marker should be there?
It's kinda like in and
Yeah, it's okay because it's not really in any of the pertinent anatomy. It'd probably be better to have it up here, but it would be okay there.
Some techs will put, if they're using the cone, they'll put the marker right on the eye.
Mm-hmm.
But it's completely out of the way of sinuses.
Yeah, true. What is this one?
That's a
It's
big,
a band.
Yeah.
SMB. What's wrong with that one?
the dilated,
Tilted.
Yeah,
tilted.
it's a little angle there, tilted. Otherwise, is it pretty good?
Yeah, you can see.
Depends
the
on what
mandible
it's
up
for.
top.
If it's for skull, it would probably fly. If it's for sinuses, it may still, but I would probably reposition with this down here if it's for sinuses. What about this? What is that supposed to be? It's supposed to be an
SMB for
SMB.
sinuses.
What's wrong?
It's not.
Mandible.
they're not tilted back enough?
They're not tilted back enough, correct. So they need to tilt back more so we can see the sphenoid, ethmoid sinus. Again, we'll see the maxillary, but they're not usually diagnosing there.
Mm.
Any other questions? No, we're gonna lose some in here. It's pretty good. What are these? Remember I told you,
Facial bones.
Are
They're-
those like laterals of the sinus, like right here?
they are actually nasal bones.
Oh, that's right.
So little kissing cousins, they call them. They're facing each other and you can see the nasal bone here and here.
Oh.
And see, I told you it's kind of like an inverted triangle. And it's got a little separation right there on that one. You can see it there too if you get close enough. So they do have a broken nasal bones. So we'll go over the positioning for that, hopefully when they get this thing cooled down some. So tomorrow, you need to demonstrate back your sinuses. And it's on that same sheet. Skull, sinuses, and then we'll do the rest next week. Hopefully they'll get it cooled down.
I like doing this.
Good.
You like it?
Yeah, I do like it.
Uh-huh.